Alright, so with this video, I want to talk about what hormones are actually out of balance with PCOS. Because when we're talking about PCOS, you're always hearing hormonal imbalances. You need to achieve hormonal balance, but you have to understand that the human body produces around 50 hormones. So what hormones are you actually talking about when you're talking about PCOS? And before we can get started on this, as I'm always saying, PCOS is so individual to the woman that has it. So make sure you go to your doctor, you get your blood work done so you can see which hormones are actually out of balance for you and your PCOS, because only then you'll know how your PCOS is affecting you on a deeper level. So let's have a look at here the most common hormonal imbalances of PCOS, and I've written them here. There's really those big four. It's high insulin, high androgens. Remember, androgens are male sex hormones, the most common one being testosterone. Cortisol, which is your stress hormone, that is high. And then your two primary female sex hormones, estrogen and progesterone, which are low. So these are your hormonal imbalances. Insulin resistance triggers high insulin. High insulin is actually the hormonal imbalance. With androgens, we know high androgens are caused by high insulin, high stress, and excess body weight. I'm always making posts about that. So high insulin triggers ovarian testosterone production. Stress triggers adrenal testosterone production, and excess body weight, so fat tissue or adipose tissue, actually also produces androgens. So high androgens is your second hormonal imbalance here that we see in PCOS. Remember, androgens, male sex hormones. Cortisol, which is our stress hormone. Now, cortisol is produced by your adrenal gland. So we know that stress triggers your adrenal gland to produce androgens, but your adrenal gland is primarily there to produce stress hormones. But as we see, is when your adrenal is producing cortisol, it is also producing androgen hormone, DHEAS, which is a form of testosterone. So we've seen that through studies that women with PCOS have higher chronically elevated levels of cortisol, stress. And because you are constantly stressed, either emotionally or physically, you are producing higher amounts of adrenal androgen. And then the last one here is estrogen and progesterone. Now, estrogen and progesterone is primarily produced by your menstrual cycle. In the first 2 weeks of a healthy menstrual cycle, even though a healthy menstrual cycle could be a range of days, but let's just choose a 28-day cycle. For example, in the first 2 weeks, the follicular phase, that maturing follicle is producing estrogen. In the second 2 weeks after ovulation, that corpus luteum, that leftover follicle, is now producing progesterone. So if you're having irregular periods or you're not having a period at all, it means the levels of estrogen and progesterone are going to be all over the place, but most likely low. So irregular periods are triggering low levels of estrogen and progesterone. So they're the hormonal imbalances. That's what's triggering it. And now let's look at the symptoms here. So high insulin levels, what is that doing to your body? It's causing high ovarian testosterone production. It's triggering weight gain, insulin resistance, high insulin levels, weight gain. Low sex hormone binding globulin, that is a protein that travels in your body, attaches itself to free testosterone to bring testosterone levels down. So high insulin levels is causing high testosterone levels, but it's also causing low SHBG levels, which is also causing even higher testosterone levels. Poor energy. I always speak about this. Women with PCOS who complain about poor energy. It's not a personality fault. It's you're literally struggling to get energy from the food you eat due to this insulin resistance and sleep issues. Insulin resistance is highly associated to sleep issues. So how's that? Low energy levels. Oh, and you have sleep issues, which means tomorrow, even though you already had no energy, you're going to have even less energy, if that's possible. Androgens. High testosterone production, we know that causes irregular periods. It causes imbalance between the luteinizing hormone and follicle stimulating hormone ratio, which is very important for the menstrual cycle. Triggers fertility issues, acne, hair loss around the scalp, known as androgenic alopecia, and hair growth or hirsutism, especially on the face, the chest, the belly, the lower back. Now, high cortisol levels or high stress levels trigger midsection fat gain. So fat gain around the midsection, around the internal arteries, which is the unhealthy fat gain. Adrenal androgens, as I said before, high cortisol, high androgen production by the adrenals. Also causes anxiety. You know, when you're constantly stressed, it's that wide but tired feeling where you're just tired, you're sapped for energy, but you're wide, you're on the go. It's the worst feeling there is. And then also sleep issues, because if you're constantly stressed, you can't sleep. So once again, that's just compounding everything. And then the estrogen and progesterone, the low levels of those, mood issues. So estrogen is very important for your mood. We know it's energy. Estrogen is important for energy balance and energy production. So low estrogen, low energy once again. Stress, we know progesterone is kind of anti-cortisol. Low progesterone means cortisol has more of a role to play there. And also pregnancy, we know progesterone especially is incredibly important to healthy pregnancy. So if you have any questions about this video, let me know, because I love to chat about this, but I hope you found this video informative and educational, because I really want you to start getting your head around this really complex condition, because there is a lot of things to know. It is very scientific, but I hope these videos just break it down in an easier form for you to understand, because if you don't know how PCOS is affecting you, how it works, and you really can't find yourself a solution, and that's all I want from you. So hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, let me know, and I'll see you on the next one.